Hey guys, so thought I'd just make a very quick video here where I compare the specs on all of the new HTC devices that got launched today, the One X, the One S, and the One V, and the One X variant that's only going to be for US, the One XL. And the only big difference between the One X, the European variant, and the international variant versus the US One XL is the processor. The One X, quad-core Tegra 3, 1.5 GHz. The One XL 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 MSM 8960. Remember, this is a good processor, a very good dual-core one. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. HT One X, One X versus One XL versus One S versus One V. Okay, here we go. All of them obviously running Android, Ice Cream Sandwich, Android 4.0. Yeah, they do. Then we also have the screens. Okay, so the One X and the One XL both running on 4.7 inch, having 1280 or 720p display with technology called Super LCD 2, and rocking over 300 in PPI, so you won't be able to see a difference in the pixels, because your eye can't see that. And then we also have the One S rocking a little smaller display, 4.3 inch, is like the S2, 540 x 960. That's the resolution. Super AMOLED technology instead of Super LCD 2. Now, this is a good question because I saw this in Engadget comments that some people want the Super AMOLED instead of Super LCD 2. So I'm wondering what kind of display technology is better, Super LCD 2 versus Super AMOLED? That's a very good question. And it would be nice if they would have featured Super AMOLED Plus, because that should be better than Super AMOLED. But yeah, okay. And then we obviously have the last one, 3.7 inch 480 x 800 on the One V, also come with Super LCD 2 technology. Okay, so that was the screens. Then we have the thickness, and obviously the one that is the thinnest of them all over here. If you want a thin device, you should definitely go with HTC One S, 7.8 millimeters. It's 7 millimeters, baby. Okay, it could actually be the first phone to have that, but I'm not sure. Actually, I don't. I think that there's one Chinese one before, that launched a few months ago in China only. The One X and the One XL 9 millimeters, and same goes with One V. Then if you take a look at the weight, we can clearly see also that the one with less weight is obviously the One V, the value phone, 115 grams, but the One S is also doesn't have that much weight compared to the One X and One XL, 119 grams, and then 150 grams on the One X and the One XL. And then we have the processor. Obviously, this is the good one. The One X coming with this Tegra 3 quad-core processor, 1.5 GHz, and then the One XL variant is rocking a very quality dual-core processor. Same goes with the One S, this Snapdragon S4 MSM 8260A processor, and it beats the Tegra 3 in some performance tests, so benchmarking and stuff like that, so that's kind of cool. And then the One V is rocking a Snapdragon S2 1 GHz single core processor, and I think it's an extremely big difference between that one and the Snapdragon S4 and the Tegra 3 that's up there, of course. So it's gonna be interesting. Snapdragon S4 versus Tegra 3. That's the question. What do you want? Okay, if you live in the US and want the One X, then you have to pick the XL with Snapdragon S4 if you don't import it. Then we have the RAM, of course, 1 GB on all except the One V, which you only have 512. Or usually on my Galaxy Note, I use between 400 to 500 maybe. So 512, that's not bad. That's absolutely not bad. And then we obviously have the camera, and we did see that HTC focused a lot on the camera technology on all of their smartphones, coming with this cool thing that you will be able to record a video in 1080p or 720p and then take pictures at the same time, full HD pictures. And also when you play back the video, you'll be able to see it. Let's say you have a moment where you want to take a still, then you can go ahead and just tap on a button or something like that, and it will take a picture all in that video. So that's kind of cool. So 1080p is what you're gonna get on all of the 1S, 1XL, 1X, and then the 1V is gonna get, instead of 1080, you're gonna get 720p, 5 megapixel. The interesting thing though is are you gonna see a big difference between the 8 megapixel one, the 1080p one, and the 720p one on the 1V? Because I don't actually think that we're gonna see an extremely big difference. Okay. Then also the front camera, you don't get anyone on the 1V, which is the cheapest one, and also the 1S, they saved up some cash there by going VGA, but on the 1X and the 1XL, 1.3 megapixel, and still, I'm maybe a little bit disappointed that they should have been able to do two, I think, but I know it is the front camera, and you only use it like when you want to take a picture of yourself, something like that. Don't have to be extremely high res, because then people will see how ugly you are. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'm not really sure if you're gonna see a big difference. Let's hope it is not extremely bad. And then obviously we have the memory, and this is very, very important. And also it seems like on the 1V, I think I made a mistake there. You can actually expand it, but and yeah, it said that you couldn't. But it seems like you can expand the memory from 4 gigabytes, so you should have like a micro SD option, or they may just count that as the Dropbox 25 gigabytes cloud storage as you can get. I'm not sure, but on the HTC, on all of the other HTCs, you get 32 gigabytes, and you can't expand it. But hey, why would you want to expand, 32 gigabytes? Maybe if you have a lot of porn and want to have everything on your device, maybe. Try internet porn. It's usually free, or you can pay, and then you get some good HD quality. That's nice. But then you don't have to at least stream it down to your little device, or I mean save it. Then we have the connectivity. We have one LTE bad boy, and obviously that's going to be the one XL that's going to be in the States, because LTE in the States, that's like US is usually they are kind of good at doing their LTE thing over there. But the fun thing is that AT&T, like what I've heard, Verizon should be like much better in the States on LTE stuff, but AT&T is getting this exclusive HTC One XL, so that's kind of fun. And then obviously HBA Plus on the One X, and I mean in my country we don't even have like LTE. We are a little behind, here in Europe, and then HBA Plus also on the One S, and then HBA on the other one, the 1V. And I think most people will, I mean, I think 3G is kind of quite fast, when you get to, max 3G speeds. I think that's almost enough for me. But I can definitely understand if you watch a video like YouTube video, you definitely want like LTE on your device. But I don't do that much, because then my data plan would go up in the sky. And then we have the battery. Okay, so we get 1800 milliamp on the 1X, 1XL. That's a little higher than the S2, and not as close to my Galaxy Note. It could be a little bit on the short side over there, because it is a big screen, 4.7. I mean, I have 1650 something like that on my S2, but that's a 4.3 inch device. This is a 4.7, so I'm not sure. But they could have probably pushed in a little bit more, like 2000 milliamp, like LG is doing with their Optimus 4X. And then we had one S, which is around 1650 milliamp, also a little bit on the small side, but it's a smaller display. And then 1500 on the 3.7 inch one, but it's only a 3.7 inch device on the 1V there. So which one should you buy? Well, I think I'm gonna buy the 1X, hopefully, because it's cool, it's quad and everything. But the 1S is still kind of interesting, because I mean that one's gonna launch where I live as well. I'm not gonna get the 1XL over here. And the interesting thing I think with the 1S is that it's gonna be rocking this Snapdragon S4 dual-core processor, 1.5 GHz. That's gonna be sometimes better than the Tegra 3 on the 1X. And obviously I want always the best stuff, and the CPU is very important for me. But I do like that quad-core thing, in the name, like quad-core. Yes. So yeah. that is the HTC comparison. Now it's up to you to decide what you're gonna buy, or are you gonna go with LG? Are you gonna wait for Samsung to release their Galaxy S3 killer? That's gonna kill everything. I think actually that phone's gonna be really exciting to see because HTC, LG, Huawei, and Sony have released some pretty decent smartphones now on MWC. So I can't wait to see what Samsung is gonna do. On their dedicated event, hopefully next month, March the 15th or March the 22nd. Then it's also gonna be like a Sammy event. Yeah, see.